Seconds, dude. Yeah, he, I mean, he doesn't have to be outside. Walk out with.
Get
used to working from a public service and we were like, it's still going to be late in the summertime.
On the floor in the kitchen.
There, find the code.
Where was it? I just checked. Why start
Get there!
10 seconds. 10.
No. It's gonna be a rough night.
is Shirley Picard in the house tonight? Shirley Picard? I believe it's Shirley Picard is what I believe.
Is it Packard? Is it Packard? Right. Is it Packard?
Could be. I thought I was told to park. You're taking up 2 handicap spots, and people have been complaining to the police. They obviously don't do anything bad, but they would like to see it. So it's
Well, I'll give you the keys. You can go move it.
I wouldn't mind it. I can let the police officer do that.
Welcome, joyride! You're out. You'll be funny card.
She got taken. She was parked just outside. She got taken.
Not very good. She's short-legged. Back to Danny. All you gotta do is drive out.
Happens at work.
You'll have to move your seat.
Ready?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mascoma Valley Regional High School for today's Division III NHIA girls basketball game between the visiting Wildcats from Fall Mountain High School and your very own Mascoma Royals. The NHIA and Mascoma High School strongly advocates good sportsmanship. Let's all do our part to make this happen. Please utilize positive cheering throughout the entirety of the contest in an attempt to make the atmosphere exciting for all in attendance. We ask you to demonstrate good sportsmanship by showing respect for the players, the coaches, the officials, and the spectators sitting around you. Guests who fail to meet these expectations will be asked to leave the facility. Be loud, be proud, but be positive. Also, just a heads up, the bathroom facilities are located just outside the gymnasium off the hallways behind you, or off the main lobby near the concession. In an unlikely event of an emergency or fire alarm activation, all occupants are asked to leave the building via the nearest exit. And finally, just a reminder that for the safety of the players, coaches, and officials, no fans are allowed on the playing surface anytime before, during, or immediately after the game. And now for tonight's starting lineups. First, starting for the visiting Wildcats. Number 1, Jenna Fillion. Number 3, Kelsey Fillion. Number 11, Riley Beckwith. Number 15, Abby Jarvis. And number 22, Sophia Grilone. Fall Mountain is coached by Matthew Baird-Torney and is assisted by Trey Dancer. And now starting for your Royals, number 1, Grace Clifford. Number 2, Molly Gray. Number 12, Sophia Smith. Number 14, Peyton Clement. And number 23, Lila Jacobson. Mascoma is coached by Mark Rockwood and assisted by Derek Hero. Today's officials will be Adam Pelletier and Chris Matty. And at this time, if I could ask you to all please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Enjoy tonight's contest. And just an FYI, today's games are being live streamed thanks to Mascoma AV Club and can be viewed at youtube.com/@Mascoma Schools.
evening and welcome to tonight's game against Fall Mountain as the Royals try to extend their winning streak. And it's going to be Jacobson to take the tip off for the Royals. And it's going to be Fall Mountains, Grillmore with the ball. And it's going to be stolen by Smith. Smith gives it to Clement. And it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Fall Mountain. So Grillmore with the ball. Gives it to Jarvis. Back to Grillmore. Grillmore takes the mid-range, misses it. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Grillmore can take a shot and he'll make it. Now Smith with the ball, gives it to Gray, who's been on injury reserve for a while on the Royals. And it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Grillmore with the ball. And it's going to be Jarvis with the ball for Fall Mountain. Now Philon gives it to Beckwith. And it's going to be blocked by Smith, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And it's going to be Grillmore with the ball for Fall Mountain, who takes a deep three, misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Gray. Now Gray gives it to Smith. And it's going to be a missed pass to Clifford, and it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. Now Beckwith with the ball. And it's going to be stolen by the Royals. And it's going to be ended up in Smith's hands. And a foul on Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Clifford to take it in from the sideline and gives it to Gray. Now Jacobson gives it to Gray. Gray all the way to Clifford. Now Clement will just miss a layup. And it's going to be stolen by the Royals, and it's going to be stolen again by Fall Mountain. And Fillion will make an easy layup for Fall Mountain. And Royals quickly getting the ball out as it's going to be Jacobson with the ball. Gives it to Smith. Now it's Clement. Clement makes moves and receives a foul, and Clement will take 2 free throws. And Clement will make the first free throw. And Clement will make both free throws. And it's now Jenna filling in with the ball. Looks like we have siblings on Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Grillmore with the ball. And Jenna filling will miss a shot. And it's going to be Smith with the ball. Smith will drive in, take a layup, and just misses it. And it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Kelsey filling in with the ball, who gives it to Grillmore. Oh, there's two siblings, I guess. Jeez. And it's now Smith with the ball for the Royals. And it's going to still end up in Smith's hands, and Gray will get a shot blocked, and it's going to be rebounded by Stella Grillmore. And a huge foul on Smith. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Sorry, there's been 2 free throws for Newfound. Fall Mountain. Kelsey filling in will miss the first free throw. and she'll miss a second. And it's going to be rebounded by Clifford. And Clifford gives it to Smith. And Smith will drive in and just miss a layup. And it's going to be rebounded by Sophia Grillmore. And Grillmore. And jump ball, but it's going to be Royals ball. Now, Gray with the ball. Gives it to Clifford. And it's going to be stolen, but it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. Now, Smith with the ball. And it's going to be a foul on Newfound. I keep calling it Newfound. It's Fall Mountain. Now Clifford with the ball. Gives it to Gray. And it's going to be tipped, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Now it's Sophia Grillmore with the ball. Gives it to Jarvis. Back to Grillmore. And Jarvis will take a deep three and will just miss it. But it's going to be rebounded by Clement. Clement gives it to Smith. Now back to Clement. Now Smith with the ball. Jacobson. And it's going to be passed to Clifford. Now it's going to be Jacobson, who gives it to Smith. Smith takes a shot, just misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain. Now it's Jarvis who gives it to Sophia Grillmore. Now it's Riley Beckwith, and we'll receive a foul, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Beckwith will miss the first free throw. And it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. Now Petty gives it to Jacobson. And a deep pass to Clement, and it'll be missed, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Now it's Jenna filling with the ball. Gives it to Jarvis. Now Sophia Grillmore. Gives it to Jenna filling. And it's going to be Sophia Grillmore to miss a shot. And Jenna Filling will miss a mid-range, and it's going to be rebounded by the Royals. Now it's going to be timeout Royals, as the lead for Fall Mountain is only going to be 3. And first quarter. Clifford to take the sideline, and Clifford will give it to Jacobson. Now it's back to Clifford. Now Petty will lose her dribble, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And it's going to be Jenna filling with the ball for Fall Mountain. Gives it to Sophia Grillmore. Now back to Fillion. Now it's going to be Beckwith. And it's going to be Royals ball. Now Clifford gives it to Gray. Now Petty. And it's going to be Jacobson to settle it. And it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Thomas with the ball. Gives it to Beckwith. And Grillmore with a deep three and will miss it. And it's rebounded by Beckwith. And it's going to be a jump ball. And it's going to be Fall Mountain ball. And Beckwith will miss the first free throw. And Smith will come in for Petty. And Emerson will come in for Clement. And Beckwith will make the second free throw. Now Smith with the ball. And it's going to be a missed pass. And it's going to be stolen by Thomas. And it's Thomas. Gives it to Grillmore. Grillmore to Jarvis. Jarvis takes a three, misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be a missed floater. And it's going to be a made layup by Abby Jarvis for Fall Mountain. Now Smith gives it to Emerson. Now it's Clifford. Jacobson. Smith. And Jacobson moves in. It's going to be blocked. And it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Jenna Fillion with the ball. And Beckwith will make the layup. Now Smith with the ball for the Royals. And a foul on Fall Mountain. And Peck will come in for Gray. And it's going to be immediately stolen by Thomas, who will just miss a layup, and it's rebounded by Jenna Fillion, who will make an easy layup. Now Smith with the ball for the Royals. Drives in. Gives it to Peck. And Peck gives it to Jacobson. Or back to Smith. Gives it to Clifford. Now Jacobson. And it's going to be swatted out of bounds by Fall Mountain. Now Clifford misses the pass to Peck, and it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain, and it's going to be Sophia Grillmore with the ball. Now it's Jarvis, and a made three for Grillmore. Now it's Clifford with the ball. Gives it to Emerson. Emerson takes a mid-range, just misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain. And a deep three and will just miss it, and it's going to be end of the first quarter. And Fall Mountain slowly gaining a big lead over the Royals. And it's going to be Fall Mountain ball, second quarter. And it's going to be Jarvis with the ball for Fall Mountain. Gives it to Kelsey filling in. And Jarvis, and it's going to be blocked by Jacobson. Now Smith with the ball for the Royals. Gives it to Clifford. Now back to Smith. And it's going to be now Emerson who gives it to Jacobson. And Peck will just miss the mid-range, and it's going to be rebounded by Jenna Fillion. And it's going to be a made three by Kelsey Fillion for Fall Mountain. And Gray will come in for Peck. And Wyman will come in for Jacobson. And now it's Jenna Fillion. Gives it to Jarvis. And it's going to be another made three by Fall Mountain. And this time it's going to be Sophia Grillmore. Now Emerson gives it to Wyman. Now Clifford. Now it's Gray. And Clifford, and it's going to be stolen by Sophia Grillmore. And Grillmore will make an easy layup. And it's going to be stolen by Grillmore. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Petty comes in for Smith. And a made layup from Jarvis. Now it's Petty. Misses a pass to Clifford. Now it's Gray with the ball. Gives it to Wyman. Now Petty takes a three. Misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain. Now it's Kelsey Fillion with the ball. And it's going to be a missed three by Jarvis for Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Jarvis again with the ball. And a travel on Fall Mountain. Now it's Gray with the ball. Gives it to Petty. And Petty loses a dribble. And gives it to Gray. Now it's going to be Wyman. And it's going to be a missed pass, and it's going to be stolen by Sophia Grillmore. Who gives it to Thomas, and Thomas will just miss a layup, but it's rebounded by Fall Mountain, who will make an easy layup. Now Gray. And it's going to be a foul on Fall Mountain. And Peck will come in for Petty. Now it's Gray. And it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Thomas with the ball to make an easy layup. Now it's Clifford. Gives it to Gray. And it's going to be Emerson with the ball who gives it to Clifford. Clifford. And it's going to be a missed pass, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Smith will come in for Wyman. Now it's Fall Mountain's Jarvis with the ball. Gives it to Kelsey Fillion. And Thomas will miss a three-point, and it's going to be Gray who finds an open lane, and Gray will just miss a layup, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain, and it's going to be Kelsey Fillion with the ball. And it's going to be Jarvis. Gives it to Thomas. And Emma King will miss a mid-range, and it's going to be Royals ball off the jump ball. Jenna Fillion will come in for Kelsey Fillion. Now Smith with the ball. Gives it to Clifford. Now Gray. Gives it back to Smith. Now Peck gives it back to Smith. Now Clifford. Misses a pass. And it's going to be Abby Jarvis with the ball for Fall Mountain. Now it's going to be Emma King. Gives it back to Jarvis. And Jarvis is going to be blocked by Emerson. And it's going to be Smith with the ball, who makes moves, takes a layup, and will just miss it. And it's going to be rebounded by Emma King. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Wyman will come in for Clifford. Now Jarvis with the ball. Gives it to Jenna Fillion. And Sierra King will make an easy layup. Now it's Gray with the ball for the Royals. Runs to the corner. And it's going to be a missed pass to Smith. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Now it's going to be Jenna Fillion with the ball. Gives it to Thomas. And it's going to be jump ball, but it's going to be Fall Mountain ball. And it's going to be Beckwith to take a layup, and it's going to be blocked by the Royals, and it's going to be Gray with the ball. And it's going to be a missed pass on the Royals, but it's going to be Royals ball at the tip. Now Peck will take the inbound. And we'll give it to Wyman. Now Wyman to Emerson. And a blocking foul on Fall Mountain, and it's going to be Royals ball. Now it's going to be Emerson to take the inbound. Gives it to Wyman. Wyman back to Emerson. And jump ball is going to be Royals ball. Now Emerson gives it to Wyman. Now Smith. Now it's Gray. Smith takes a deep three, misses it. It's going to be rebounded by Gray, who takes a layup and will just miss it, but we'll see 2 free throws. And Gray, who has been out for the Royals these past couple of weeks with an injury, with big hopes to come back and bounce back from the injury and do good. And Emerson will come out for Jacobson. And Gray will make the second free throw. Now Jenna Fillion with the ball for Fall Mountain. Gives it to Thomas, and it's going to be a missed layup, and it's going to be rebounded by Smith. And Smith gives it to Jacobson. Jacobson takes a mid-range, just misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by the Royals. Yeah, it's going to be rebounded by the Royals, and Jacobson gives it to Smith. Receives the screen, it's going to be a missed pass, and it's going to be Vogel with the ball for Fall Mountain. Gives it to Thomas, and it's going to be blocked, and a block pass by Smith, and it's going to be unfortunately out of bounds on the Royals. Now it's going to be Russell for Fall Mountain to make an easy layup. Now Smith gives it to Gray. Gray takes a mid-range, misses it, and is rebounded by Emma King. Now it's going to be Jenna filling in with the ball. Gives it to Emma King. And it's going to be Vogel with the ball, and it's going to be travel on Vogel. It's going to be Royals ball. Now Smith gives it to Petty. And it's going to be another missed pass by Petty. And it's going to be stolen by Petty, who gives it to Smith. And Smith will take a layup and will just miss it. And it's going to be now Russell with the ball. Gives it to Jenna Fillion, and Fillion will make a three. Now Smith with the ball. Gives it to Jacobson. Now it's Petty. He'll give it to Wyman, and Wyman will make a layup. Now it's Jenna Fillion with the ball. Gives it to Vogel. Now it's Russell, who will take a shot, miss it, and it's going to be rebounded by Jenna Fillion, who will give it to Sierra King. Now it's Vogel. And it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. It's going to be Royals ball. Now Smith. And it's going to be missed pass, and it's going to be Jenna Fillion with the ball. Now it's going to be Emma King to make a 2-point. Now Smith, with 5 seconds to go, will then receive a foul, and it's going to be 2.4 seconds left. Now Wyman will give it to Smith. Smith takes a shot, misses it, and that'll be the end of the first half, as Fall Mountain will still lead going into the second half, 38-5. going to be Fall Mountain to start the ball after the first half. And it's going to be Jenna Fillion with the ball. And gives it to Jarvis. Now it's going to be back to Fillion, and Fillion will just miss the 3-point. And it's going to be Sophia Grillmore to miss a shot, and it's going to be stolen by Stella Grillmore, and it's going to be a foul on Clifford, and Stella Grillmore will take 2 free throws. And Grillmore will make the first free throw. And Grillmore will also make the second. Now Smith with the ball for the Royals. Gives it to Gray, and it's going to be a missed pass, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Excuse me. And it's going to be a missed pass on Fall Mountain, and it's going to be, it's going to be swatted out of bounds by the Royals, and it's going to be a Fall Mountain ball. Now it's Jenna Fillion. Gives it to Thomas, and it's going to be a missed 3-point by Jarvis, and it's going to be a missed layup on Fall Mountain. Now it's Sophia Grillmore who gives it to Beckwith, and Beckwith will miss the layup, and it's going to be rebounded by Clement, and we'll give it to Smith. And Smith makes moves, loses her dribble, and it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. It's going to be a Royals ball. Now Jacobson will give it to Gray. Now Smith. Now Jacobson takes a mid-range, misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Sophia Grillmore who will give it to Jarvis, and Jarvis will make the layup. Now Smith with the ball, gives it to Jacobson. And Jacobson settles it, gives it to Gray. And Gray loses her dribble. And it's going to be Gray. Gives it to Smith. Now to Jacobson. Back to Smith. Now it's Smith. Gives it to Clement. And it's going to be a missed pass, and it's going to be stolen by Sophia Grillmore, and it's going to be a missed pass on Fall Mountain. It's going to be now Gray with the ball. And Gray will lose her dribble, but ultimately get it back, and it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain off the block. And now Smith with the ball, gives it to Jacobson, and it's going to be a big block by Beckwith for Fall Mountain, and it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. Now Clifford gives it to Gray. Now Gray will lose her dribble, and she'll receive a foul, and it's going to be Royals ball. And Clifford with the inbound will heave it out to Smith. Now Jacobson. And it's going to be a big block by Jarvis, and it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. Now Gray gives it to Clement. And it's going to be stolen by Thomas. And it's going to be stolen by Jacobson for the Royals. And now it's going to be Smith with an easy layup. Now, Sophia Gromore with the ball. Gives it to Thomas. Thomas takes a three, misses, and it's going to be rebounded by Fall Mountain's Jarvis. And now it's going to be Sophia Gromore to take a mid-range shot and will miss it, and it's going to be rebounded by Smith. And Smith will give it to Jacobson. Now it's Clifford, back to Gray. And it's going to be Clement. And it's going to be Jacobson, back to Clement. Now it's Smith with the ball. Now it's Clifford. And Clifford will take a deep three and will miss it. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Now Sophia Gromore with the ball. Gives it to Jenna Fillion. Now to Jarvis. And Jarvis will miss the layup. And it's going to be rebounded by Clifford, who gives it to Clement. Now to Smith. Now Clifford will, and it's going to get a block shot, and it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. It's going to be the Royals' ball. And it's going to be Clifford to take the inbound. And Clifford will give it to Smith. Smith takes a three, misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Sophia Gromore. And it's going to be a block pass by Smith. And Kelsey Fillion will make a three for Fall Mountain. And it's going to be now Sophia Smith with the ball for the Royals. Now it's going to be Jacobson to Smith. And Jacobson will take a shot, miss it, and it's going to be rebounded by Kelsey Fillion for Fall Mountain. And now it's going to be Thomas with the ball, and a big block by Smith, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Emerson will come in for Jacobson. And now it's Sophia Gromore, who will give it to Jenna Fillion, and Fillion will just miss a three, and it's going to be rebounded by Clement, who gives it to Smith. Now it's going to be Clifford, and it's going to be a missed pass, and it's going to be Jenna Fillion with the ball, who gives it to Jarvis, and Jarvis, and it's going to be another big block by Smith. And a missed three on Fall Mountain is to be rebounded by Smith. Now Smith will give it to Emerson, and Emerson will lose her dribble, and it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. It's going to be Royals' ball. Now Clifford, and it's going to be a foul on Fall Mountain. Now Clifford will give it to Smith. And Smith to Gray. And it's going to be stolen by Thomas. Now he'll give it to Sophia Gromore. Now Kelsey Fillion will give it back to Gromore. And Gromore will miss a three-point. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Gray will come out for Penny. Now it's Thomas with the ball for Fall Mountain. Gives it to Gromore. Gromore takes a shot, misses, and it's rebounded by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Kelsey Fillion to Sierra King. It's going to be back to Fillion, and Fillion will just miss a shot, and it's going to be rebounded by Clifford, who gives it to Smith. And Smith gives it to Clifford. Back to Smith. And Petty will drop a pass, and it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain. And it's going to be Sierra King, and it's going to be a missed shot, and it's going to be rebounded by Clifford, who gives it back to Smith. Now Clement will take a three, make it. Now Jenna filling in with the ball. Gives it to Sierra King. And Kelsey will fill in, will make the three-point shot. Now it's Petty to Smith. And Petty will give it to... And it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Smith will come out for Gray. Now Jenna filling in with the ball. Gives it to Sierra King. And now it's Sophia Grillmore who will miss a layup and is going to rebound by Clement, who gives it to Gray. Now Gray with the ball. And it's going to be timeout Royals as Fall Mountain continues to expand their lead on the Royals. And it'll be 48-10. And now it'll be Clifford to take the inbound after the timeout, who will give it to Gray. And Gray will give it to Petty. And Petty receives a screen from Clifford, and it's going to be back to Clifford. Now Gray with again. And it's going to be a travel, and it's going to be Fall Mountain ball. Now Jenna Fillion with the ball. We'll give it to Kelsey Fillion. Now back to Jenna Fillion. And it's going to be Kelsey Fillion. He gives it to Thomas. And it's gets stolen by Gray. Gray will take the layup, miss it, and it's rebounded by Petty, who misses a layup. And it's going to be rebounded by King, who gives it to Sophia Grillmore. Now Grillmore to Sierra King, and Sierra King will make an easy layup for Fall Mountain. Now it's Gray with the ball. And it'll be the end of the third quarter. And Fall Mountain extends their lead to 40 against the Royals. quarter. It'll be the Royals to start with the ball. And now it's going to be Gray to Clement. Now Petty. And Gray. Back to Clement. And it's just like going to be a rotation here. It's going to be back to Petty. Now it's going to be Clement. Now it's going to be Emerson. Now to Gray. And it's going to be stolen by Fall Mountain, and it's just going to be Sophia Grillmore with the ball. Gives it to Kelsey Fillion. Now to Jenna Fillion, and Fillion will miss the 3-point, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And it's going to be Sierra King to miss a layup, and it's going to be rebounded by Clement. Now Gray. Will give it to, and it's going to be a stolen pass by Sophia Grillmore, who will give it to Kelsey Fillion, and Fillion will make a layup. Now Gray with the ball. Gives it to Petty. And Petty to Emerson. Now Clement will just miss a 3, and it's rebounded by Emma King. And a foul on Clifford. And Clement will come out for Jacobson. Now Jenna Fillion with the ball. Gives it to Kelsey Fillion. And Sierra King will miss a layup, and it's going to be rebounded by Jacobson, who gives it to Clifford. And it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. It's going to be Royals ball. And Molly Gray will come out for Sophia Smith. Now it's Smith with the ball. Oh, sorry, that'd be Jacobson. Now it's Emerson. And foul on Fall Mountain. It's going to be Royals ball. Now Emerson will give it to Clifford. And now it's Smith. And it's going to be a big block on Fall Mountain. And Clifford will take a shot, miss it. And it's going to be rebounded by Sierra King. Now it's Jenna Fillion. Gives it to Vogel. And it's going to be Russell. And it's going to be out of bounds on Fall Mountain. It's going to be Royals ball. Now Jacobson will give it to Smith. Now Petty. Give it to Emerson. Now Clifford to Jacobson. Now Smith with the ball. Give it back to Clifford. And it's going to be a missed pass by Clifford, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. Now it's going to be Jenna Fillion with the ball. Gives it to Sierra King. And it will be a missed mid-range. And Russell will save the ball out of bounds, but it's going to be stolen by Jacobson. Now it's going to be Smith with the ball. Now Jacobson will give it to Smith. Now it's Clifford who will take a shot and just misses it. And it's going to be rebounded by Jenna Fillion for Fall Mountain. Now Fillion will give it to Russell. Now it's going to be Sierra King. It's going to be stolen by Petty, who gives it to Smith. And Smith. And it's going to be a travel on Smith, and it's going to be no shot. Now it's going to be Jenna Fillion to Russell, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals, and it's going to be Fall Mountain ball. Now it's going to be Russell with the ball to take a 3, and will miss it. It's going to rebound to Emerson, who gives it to Petty. Petty will give it to Smith. Now to Clifford. Smith will take a deep 3 and will miss it. And it's going to be rebounded by Clifford, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Royals. And Wyman will come in for Clifford. Now it's going to be Russell with the ball. Gives it to Grillone. Now it's going to be back to Russell. Now it's Vogel. Gives it to Grillone. And made layup by Smith. And it's going to be a block pass by Smith. And there will be no travel call. And it's going to be Russell for Fall Mountain with the ball, who will give it to Grillone. And it's going to be hit out of bounds by the Royals, and it's going to be Fall Mountain ball. And Peck will come in for Petty. Now Vogel, and it's going to be blocked pass by Smith once again, and Smith will look to have an easy layup and will miss it. It's going to be rebounded by Peck, who gives it to Emerson. Now Jacobson will take a 3, just miss it, and it's going to be rebounded by Ashworth for Fall Mountain. And now it's going to be Emma King to miss in mid-range, and it's going to be rebounded by Wyman, and now it's going to be Smith with the ball. And now with 57 seconds to go, it's going to be Smith to Emerson. And Smith takes a 3, just misses it, and it's going to be rebounded by Emerson. And Smith will take another 3 and make it this time. Now Russell with the ball. And it's going to be another block pass by Smith. And Smith will receive a foul. And as the clock winds down, and it's going to be 15 seconds to go. Now Smith will give it to Jacobson. Now Peck. And with 4 seconds to go, and it's going to be a foul on Jacobson. And Ashworth will take 2 free throws as the game clock ends. And Ashworth will make the first free throw. Ashworth will miss the second. And it's going to be a big loss for the Royals tonight, as it's going to be 15-53. And I hope everyone has a good night. And I'd like to shout out Jillian Ford, Amelia Furbish, and Seth Brott, and myself, Kane Bergeron, where you can follow me at the Royal Sports Report on Instagram.